Hello and welcome. I have the great pleasure to be today here with Manek Mohan, founder and CEO of RecruitNet. Welcome, Manek.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Great to be here.
Manek, tell us a little bit more about RecruitNet.
So, RecruitNet is a global search engine for jobs. So, as of now, we have 25 million jobs posted online across 56 countries. And all of those jobs are posted within 30 days. So the content is very fresh. So the best way to think about our product is we are an aggregator for jobs. So in the same way that a hotel website like Trivago finds hotel listings from the internet, Recruit.net has thousands of partners and finds you jobs from multiple places with one search.
That is really impressive.
So the challenge today for job seekers looking for jobs is that jobs are scattered. They're not centralized in one specific place. So if you want to work for, say, Microsoft or HSBC, the best place to go actually is to their corporate website because the listings are all posted online. But what we do through our technology is we allow you to find all jobs from direct employers, from headhunters, and from other talent networks via one search.
Right,
and we do
all
that.
in
it's
one
all in
place.
one. So it makes life. So our tagline, our mission is we help people find jobs, and that's what drives us. To make it easy and efficient to find jobs.
That's impressive, and you're already indicating you are sector agnostic, right?
Correct.
You're not specifically for the startup or tech sector,
That's
so you
correct.
can also find job with big multi-corporates.
Absolutely. So you can use our site to find private wealth manager jobs in Hong Kong. You can find a job as a sushi chef in Sydney or a driver in Bombay, and our technology will find that for you and give you real-time updates and listings. So it's really a search engine for jobs.
Right, and the company started here out of Hong Kong,
so
right?
we started out in Hong Kong. So it's made in Hong Kong with love, and we originally launched in Southeast Asia. So our view was, as a technology company, the technology can easily be applied to multiple geographies. So we decided to go big from the beginning and target multiple markets. And today we're in 56 countries. In fact, we just launched a site in Nigeria.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's a really interesting market for us. I wasn't aware, but the population of Nigeria is larger than the UK, France, and Spain put together.
Wow.
So it's a very large market. It's largely untapped at this point in time. The internet adoption is growing. By 2050, it's scheduled to be the third largest market population-wise, but behind China, India, and then Nigeria.
Wow.
So we're very excited about frontier markets in the future, and that's kind of what we do right now. We just help people find jobs and look to widen our global footprint.
Yeah, very visionary. Manek, what would be the advice that you give to job seekers here in Hong Kong?
So I think one of the important things is to take your time. So quite often people get in a big rush when they're looking for a job, either because of the urgency behind it or they get worried about it. But I would say take your time. The worst thing you can do is just start shooting your CV out to people, because that's probably going to hurt you more in the long run. So you should first of all look at your skill profile, understand what your core strengths are, and you should look at the market. So you could use something like Recruit.net to type in what you consider to be your skills. You'll see all types of jobs that require that. You'll also find headhunters who are advertising for jobs like that, and make a short list. Identify some of the employers, whether it's a startup, whether it's a larger company, make a list of that. Call up some of the headhunters that are also advertising, talk to them about the job, take your time. Make sure your CV is optimized to emphasize the skills that are being sought after, and selectively apply. If you can have access to an experienced headhunter or recruiter who has expertise in this space, you should go for that, because they generally add good value and can guide you along the way. But overall, I would say take your time. The market is very skill-driven at this point. Identify your own strengths. Use online resources and tools to get a good snapshot of what's available, and then plan how you're going to reach out to these companies, whether it be direct or whether it be through a recruiter, or different approaches for different jobs.
That's great advice. Do you actually have a read on the job loyalty or the length that employees stay within companies? The general impression is that this is really reducing. Do you have a read on that?
So in Hong Kong today, I think that if someone stays for 2 years at a company, that's a checkbox.
Wow.
That's kind of valid. So generally you want to make sure your tenure is at least 2 years, and obviously the longer the better, right?
Right.
But I think 2 years is probably a good benchmark.
But only 2 years? I was like, that is really short, no?
I would say, in Hong Kong, if you're an employer and you receive CVs, you'll find lots of candidates who've been, in places for 6 months or 12 months or 18 months, and that's, so I say 2 months at least establishes a degree of credibility, I would say.
I would love to zoom in
Sure.
to Hong Kong, of course, a
Yes.
little bit, and just trying to understand what are people looking for here in Hong Kong when they look for a job? Is it for positions here in Hong Kong? Is it globally? Is it for multinationals, for
Right.
startups?
So let's talk a little bit about what companies are looking for right now,
Okay.
and take it from there. So I think that so whether you're a multinational company or you're a startup, I think everything is moving towards technology right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the tech startups are disrupting the long-standing players, and the long-standing players, the established companies, need to up their game in technology to protect themselves. So everything is driven by technology. So as a result, the real area right now is tech skills.
Mm-hmm.
I would say soft skills and tech skills. So specifically, there's a widely reported saying that software will eat the world, and it is,
Mm-hmm.
and software is the building blocks of business right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just something that is required; it's the foundation of
It's a
all
huge
business.
enabler, yeah, exactly.
So software engineers first and foremost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's hiring software engineers, and that you can break that down into front end, back end, web,
Mm-hmm.
but to keep it simple, it's software engineers. The other area that we see a lot of demand for is security. So security specialists, because as there's more online engagement, as there's more payment processing, as there's more electronic transactions, there's more security risks, there's more liabilities. So people knowledgeable in security and best practices for security are highly sought after, and these are highly sought after skills.
And there, I guess, are the biggest gaps. Could you pinpoint geographically where bigger gaps exist in terms of sourcing and finding tech talent, or is it pretty equal?
So I would say that these trends are pretty much global, because these are the skills that are in demand globally right now. I would say Hong Kong lags behind somewhat in terms of tech talent compared to, let's say, some of the larger markets, or even somewhere like Singapore, because there's been more homegrown initiatives in universities to nurture that. But having said that, we are certainly catching up, and we are seeing better quality of tech talent coming out of Hong Kong.
Right.
And I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is that self-education is very important and a very big asset as well. So, if you think about small companies or small to medium-sized companies or even larger companies, they want to start selling online. If you're starting to sell now, you're thinking about selling online.
Right.
You're not going to say, I'm going to build a brick and mortar business. Highly unlikely. You're going to want to sell online. If you have a brick and mortar business, you want to diversify online. So the skills that are really valuable are things like Google Analytics, for example, Google Webmaster Tool, Amazon Marketplace. Now, these skills are actually relatively simple to pick up. You don't need to have a Stanford engineering degree to pick it up. But you can self-learn these skills, or use something like the Khan Academy or Udemy and pick up these skills, and it increases your attractiveness or your marketability in the job market exponentially. because these are the skills that people want.
Absolutely. Do you see, looking into trends over time, an increased mobility of talent, of being able to change locations, change geography, just to hunt after a specific job?
Yeah. So I think a remote workforce is becoming a more and more widely accepted practice, right? So employers understand that a lot of this work in the digital age can be done remotely. You can use online depositories like Git. People engage through Slack, and remote teams are widespread and widely accepted right now. And it gives flexibility. It makes it easier to find talent when you find someone who's really good, who can help build your product or who can help design your app. But they're sitting in Estonia, for example, but they can deliver. There's no reason why you shouldn't engage that person, and that's the new dynamics are like that now. So the remote workplace is becoming more and more prevalent.
Right. Do you look into data as well as in terms of compensation packages and salaries, and can you see trends over there? I guess in the hotter areas like tech, I would assume that salaries rise, right, and go up with that shortage of demand.
Certainly. So again, I guess coming back to the previous point, some of these skills are not hard to learn. But if you can self-educate yourself and understand, you can help a company navigate through the Amazon marketplace to sell goods and to set up an online store with, say, something like Shopify. It's a pretty standard tool. It's relatively easy to use. But that in itself will put considerable value in the salary or the rate that you can ask for, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Now we're looking into partnering between RecruitNet and WHub.io. What excites you most about our partnership?
Well, I love the vibrant community. I love the fact that you guys are so engaged, and you're doing such a good job in promoting the Hong Kong tech scene and the startup community here, and you're creating visibility. For RecruitNet, we want to be close to the talent. We want to be close to the workforce, and so for us it's a great partnership.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, same here. We're very excited, obviously, also on helping the Hong Kong tech and startup ecosystem get visibility on the global space, and now even in Nigeria, if I understand correctly. Now, entrepreneurship is not always an easy ride, and I always ask this question. What is your startup passion? What keeps you going?
So for me, I love working with engineers. So in my background, I was a recruiter for engineers. So I'm a geek at heart, and so I love computers and programming. Although I'm not a programmer, I did have a basic language programming on an Atari 800, so I understand basically how it works. But for me, what's exciting is the potential of a couple of smart programmers building something that really disrupts, that cuts out middlemen, that makes things more efficient. And for me, I love doing that and working with people on those types of projects.
So that's how RecruitNet came to life.
Essentially, it was just making the job search process more efficient, right? So it was just providing more access, direct access to content that was available. A lot of people don't know that you can just visit a website. You can just go online to Google and find all the jobs at Google. If you want to work at Facebook, you visit Facebook and drop down to Hong Kong or Singapore and you find their jobs. So it's a question of making that readily available. Easy to search, easy to filter, and easy to be reminded when new jobs are posted. Right,
and more jobs in startups, right? So now having the visibility on the wonderful startup job opportunity.
For sure.
Fantastic.
So it's the startup jobs. It's the full spectrum of jobs, right?
Yes.
And so we aim to really provide everything. So in order to provide a good job search experience, we believe you have to have comprehensive results. So if you're searching for, let's say, a Python developer in Hong Kong, which is a pretty sought after skill, you will see results from the big tech companies, you'll see results from hot startups, you'll see results from banks, and you'll see results from headhunters as well, and you can filter and you can match and you can decide how you want to, it gives you a great snapshot into the marketplace. Right. And it's also a great way to look at what skills are sought after right now by the number of jobs that are available.
That is very exciting. So once again, Manik, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah.
It was a great pleasure having you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great chatting with you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.